welcome to my channel, Mariah Talks AG, where I talk about my doll collection, what American Girl is doing, and just generally everything American Girl. Today I'm going to be talking about my current 2026 American Girl collection, and with it a little story of how I got into collecting AG as an adult. So the first doll I ever got is this precious one, Samantha. She was bought for me in 2005 by my great aunt because we looked alike. I used to have bangs. I'll insert a picture. I had real long bangs and she looked exactly like me as a 4-year-old. So that was my first American Girl doll. It is my favorite American Girl doll and it's what got me collecting American Girl. My second doll is Miss Ruthie Smithens. She's wearing Nenea's Haluku dress because I lost the pieces I have for her meet outfit and her satin pajamas. At least the pants I've lost, sadly. But I think she looks so good in purple, and this is just one of my favorite dresses American Girl has ever done. So this is Ruthie. I got her at the American Girl store in 2009. My grandmother bought her. I was with my grandmother, my mother, and we spent the day at American Girl Los Angeles in the Grove. Such a wonderful store before it closed down a couple years back. So this is Ruthie. As you can tell, or maybe not, these first two dolls have gotten their heads replaced. The heads fell off, the hair was matted. I was a 4 and an 8-year-old when I had them, and so they have been restored and sent to the doll hospital, which I'm sure a couple of my dolls upcoming will also get that treatment eventually. Next, we have my third doll I received. This is Miss Kirsten Larson. I got her in Christmas time of 2009 because she was retiring, and I just thought that she was such a gorgeous doll. My grandmother is Swedish, and so she was retiring. My grandmother also bought her because she has Swedish heritage and she thought her story was super cool. Here she is in her baking outfit. I unfortunately lost the apron a few years back, but this is one of the ones I'm talking about. That will probably be sent to the American Girl store eventually. Her wig is a lot thinner than it used to be. Next, we have dolls I got at the same time. Miss Felicity Merriman and Miss Elizabeth Cole when they were retiring in Christmas of 2009. I remember I was so shocked when I got these dolls. Then I got them both because I thought I was only going to get one, and I was like the happiest girl on Christmas morning opening both of these. They have gorgeous collections. They're gorgeous dolls. Definitely seen some love, especially Elizabeth. I've recently boil washed her hair and reattached her head. Unfortunately, American Girl doesn't have any more Elizabeth heads, so I can't get her completely redone, but I absolutely love both of these dolls. I'm so glad I had them, and I still have them. The Felicity movie was big, and these were really important dolls to me. The next up, we have Miss Kanani. She was the Girl of the Year for 2011 and my first ever American Girl Doll of the Year. I got her for Christmas of 2011, and as you can see, she has the most long, gorgeous hair, and I'm so happy I have this doll. I'm so happy she was my first Girl of the Year. She's my favorite one, but I really love her. I have her in Leah's meet outfit here. Unfortunately, I've also lost her meet dress, and I never had any of her other outfits, but I really love this doll. She's gorgeous. I really like her in Leah's meet dress, and she just has such long, gorgeous hair, even though I've had this doll for 15 years, and you can definitely see she has been loved. We have Miss McKenna Brooks. I remember being so excited when she was released. I still have the magazines from 2012, and I was a really excited 11-year-old who kind of liked gymnastics, quit as a kid, but I thought that she was so pretty, and she is. She's in a school outfit here. She's, you know, you've got the real dated leggings under the skirt, but she's a really pretty doll. I feel like she gets some hate, and she's a bit underrated. But I honestly love that her hair doesn't have a part, and it's a bit of unique hair. It's a beautiful hair color and eye color, and I really like this doll, and I was beyond ecstatic to open her on Christmas morning from my grandmother and my grandparents, as all of the dolls behind me, except for Samantha, are from them. next doll I was given in 2014 is one of my all-time favorite dolls. One of the most beautiful dolls American Girl has ever come out with, in my opinion. Miss Caroline Abbott from 1812. She's got the beautiful aquamarine eyes. Her work dress is gorgeous. It's actually my mom's favorite American Girl outfit. And she's just an absolutely stunning doll. American Girl needs to bring her back. We need to have this doll again because she's absolutely stunning. And I absolutely love this doll. I love her collection. I love the doll. I enjoyed the story. And she's amazing. My ninth doll is Miss Isabel Palmer. She's in one of Grace's outfits here. I have a lot of Grace's collection, but this doll is definitely an underrated one. I think she's really pretty. I loved her theme. I'm also a girly girl, and I liked sewing as a kid, so it kind of made sense, and she has such gorgeous hair. I never really took her hair out of the meat hairstyle, but I love that she has pink in her hair. I think that was pretty, and I know you can remove the pink and not have it, but it's one of my favorite things, so I would never ever remove this gorgeous pink under highlighted hair. So this is Miss Isabel Palmer. I got Caroline for my birthday in 2014 in June, and this was my Christmas doll. The next doll, Miss Grace Thomas. I remember being so excited for this doll. I logged onto the AG website at 12:01 on January 1st, 2015 to see this doll. I was a 13-year-old, like the most excited 13-year-old ever. Like I couldn't wait to see the new girl of the year. And she was into baking, and I love baking, and she was into traveling in Paris and pink and like everything I liked. Blues. So I was beyond ecstatic when they released Miss Grace Thomas as the 2015 Doll of the Year. I watched the Good Morning America broadcast. They were announcing her, and I just fell in love with all her outfits, her whole collection. This is my favorite girl of the year. I love her so much. She's so beautiful. And I was the happiest girl in the world to open her under the tree on Christmas of 2005, again, from my grandmother. My next doll I got in the store in 2016. I think it was August. I was visiting my grandmother. I love the 50s. So when I saw that there was a 50s doll, I knew I was eventually going to have her, and I wanted everything she had because the 50s is my favorite decade. I love dressing like the 50s. I love a lot of 50s music and other old music, so I knew that this was a doll that I was really going to want to have. And so when I went to the American Girl place, again, the Grove, in 2016, she caught my eye. She's a little overhated. Not my number one doll, but she's just everything I could have wanted for the 50s. Her hair is gorgeous. I love this play outfit she's wearing. I wish American Girl still sold it. I wish American Girl sold a lot of things still. A lot of dolls, a lot of outfits. There's some that I really regret missing out on, and maybe I'll do a video sometime of the top 10 outfits I most wanted that I didn't get, or maybe show you guys some of my doll outfits. But this is Miss Mary Ellen, and she's been with me for almost a decade now. Next, we have Miss Leah, Girl of the Year 2016. She's in another one of Grace's outfits. I really like Grace's collection. As you can tell, bows, all the girly stuff, totally in my wheelhouse. I have her meat outfit, but I just think she really shines in some of Grace's outfits. So she's currently in Grace's outfit. And I love this doll. I did forget to say that Leah over here was another Christmas gift from my grandmother, like most of them were. And I was always super excited about the Girls of the Year. As you'll see, I've quite a few of them in a row, and that was always the most special thing to me, was seeing the new Girls of the Year, the moment they were released, seeing their collections. I love them all growing up. There have been a couple misses to me, but I'll have to talk about that in another video, my thoughts on the American Girl of the Year line. But overall, it's a pretty solid line. Except the next one is not a Girl of the Year. This is Miss Kit Kittredge. She's a Be Forever kit. She came into my possession in 2017 or 2018. I was with my grandmother when we bought her in the store with my brothers, but she wasn't originally bought for me. My great-great-aunt, who has since passed away, right about that time, had taken a big fall, and she'd hurt her hip, and she'd had a stroke, and had dementia, and a doll, for when not everyone could be around her all the time, she had caretakers, all of that, might really help her to not feel she was so alone. And of course, being the American Girl fan collector that I am, I thought, why not get her an American Girl doll? And then we realized Kit was perfect. Kit was a similar age to her, because she passed away in her 90s, when she would have been a girl, and my great-great-aunt Marge also had short blonde hair. We just thought that was perfect. It was born the same year as her, the blonde hair, she loved the cute little 30s styles. We're like, this is perfect. So we went to the store, and we picked her out, and we gave her to my grandmother, not my grandmother, my great-great-aunt, and this doll stayed in her room, stayed with her until she passed away, and they said that the doll really helped, and when she passed away, and her stuff went a bunch of places, my grandmother made sure to get me her Kit Kittredge doll that has now become my Kit Kittredge doll. And so although she was bought in 2015, she was passed down to me in 2017 or 2018, whenever my grandmother was able to find her. This is one of the newest outfits to my collection. It's the re-released beach pajamas, and I just think this is one of the most beautiful outfits on this doll. I absolutely love this outfit. I love the red, white, blue. I love the hair ribbon. I think she has the most cutest short bob, and I'm not even a short hair person, but this doll is absolutely gorgeous to me, and I would never, ever even consider getting rid of her, because she's what I have to remember my great-great-aunt by, and that is really special to me, and I really love that, and she's just a gorgeous doll that I'm always going to have, and always is going to remind me of someone I loved and I missed very much, who is no longer here, and this is just one of my favorite dolls. And Kit was never as much my favorite growing up, even though I like writing, like she should have been my favorite growing up, but she wasn't. But once I got her, and after all of that, she's one of my favorite American Girl characters, historical characters, anything like that ever. Before I introduce my next doll, I meant to say, too, that about Kit, I wish I had more of her collection. Her collection is gorgeous. Unfortunately, since I wasn't as much into her as a kid, I don't know what I was thinking. I don't have many of her outfits, but I absolutely love her, and she's a gorgeous, stunning doll who needs a whole collection to come back. She just needs more, because she's fabulous, and who doesn't love Miss Kit Kittredge? My next doll, which is my 14th doll, is Gabrielle McBride. Now, I know that there's a lot of controversy around this doll and my next doll. I don't need to go into the whole thing, but that AG probably recycled a Truly Me doll. Just half did this doll, really. But even for all that, even for the rushed job, even for them not doing as well as they should have with this doll, I absolutely love this doll. This, to me, is one of the most beautiful dolls. I love her face. I love the mold. I love her hair. Her hair is insane. It reminds me of some other dolls that are on my wish list. And I really do like some of her outfits. Her meat outfit is the worst. I hate her meat outfit. I almost didn't get this doll because of that. But then when I was with my grandmother at the American Girl store in Boston, when that was still there, I saw this doll, and I'm like, I don't want to stop my, streak of American Girls in a row. I think she's really pretty, and I think with a different outfit, she'd look gorgeous, and she does. I really like, I think Take Flight performance outfit she's wearing, I think is gorgeous, and even though they should have done way more, and she deserved way more, I still love this doll, and I think she's absolutely gorgeous in just about anything but her original meat outfit. And I love having Miss Gabriella McBride in my collection and picking her out in the store. So my next doll, you may be able to guess, because I just talked about the whole controversy, and there was a doll that probably was supposed to be the Girl of the Year back then, and she didn't end up being that, but I didn't know that as a kid. I was, I think, 16, 15 when she was released, and I still love the doll. I thought it was gorgeous. I liked the theme. It's kind of Taylor Swifty. That's alright. But this is Miss Tenny Grant. She came with the first ever boy doll, Logan. She has a really fun collection of clothes and a really fun theme. And her wig. Oh my gosh. Look. It's so shiny. It's so beautiful. I'm such a huge fan of her hair. I think her hair is gorgeous. I think her hair looks great up. I think it looks great down. It looks great with this headband that I've got on her. Her hair is just... oh, I'm a sucker for long-haired curly wig dolls. Her, Caroline, the color hair doesn't even matter. I just love long curls, and she's gorgeous, and she looks so good in her boots and her outfit, and this is a doll that gets way too much hate, and I love her, and I just think she should have been a much bigger doll. She's gorgeous, and yeah, I love having both Gabriella and Tenny in my collection, and I would never ever get rid of either of them. They're both gorgeous dolls with gorgeous wigs that probably deserve better from American Girl, but they still get their recognition in my collection. So here's where talking about collecting as an adult a little bit more comes into play for me, so I'll talk about that a bit before I introduce my next doll. I was convinced that at some age I needed to grow out of American Girl. I couldn't be into American Girl, and that someday I was going to look at my dolls and no longer be interested. And now thinking that, and thinking that I thought that, kind of hurts, because, like, why grow out of things you love? Who cares what it is, or who it is, or anything like that? If it brings you joy and it makes you happy, go ahead and collect it. But probably around the time I got Gabriella, shortly afterward, or Tenny, one of the two, I started to think, okay, I should be too old for American Girl. I was about 17 at the time, therefore I am. But I would never sell any of my dolls. I would never do any of that because I love them and they can just stay in my closet. And so they were in my closet for a while. I would redress them once in a while, but they just kind of stayed there. They stayed set up with my furniture sets and in outfits I really liked for them, and I was like, okay, so this is supposed to be it. I shouldn't be collecting any more dolls, and something that factored into it was, like I said, I didn't want Gabriella to be the first doll I didn't collect, but Luciana Vega came out in 2019, and I hate math. I'm a really big STEM person. I don't typically love short hair on dolls outside of Kit. I like the longer hair, I like the curls, I like all that. So she wasn't a doll of interest to me. And I was like, okay, this is the first doll of the year I've not been interested in ever, because I have 2011 through 2017 and I love them. So actually, this one, Girl of the Year 2018, my bad, Luciana Vega. And I loved all the dolls before that. Dream dolls for me were like Krissa and Lainey and Marisol. Like, I thought all of them were gorgeous. Sonali. And so I was like, okay, this is the first Girl of the Year I'm not interested in very much. So this is a sign that I'm not into American Girl as much. So all of my dolls, they went in the closet. I saw them. I never thought of selling them. I kept them in really nice condition. And I love the dolls I had. But then I don't really know how it happened. I don't know how I saw this, how I noticed this, but this next doll became available. She got brought back in 2021 to the website, and I hadn't bought a doll or gotten a doll in 3 years to this point. Hadn't gotten any American Girl outfits, any of that. I checked on the Girl of the Year. I wasn't really into Luciana. I wasn't really into Joss. I wasn't really into Kira. So, I mean, she looks a lot like Julie. that's 3 girly years I've not been really interested in. Like, I see how this is. But then somehow I found out that they brought back Molly McIntyre. Now, this was a doll I wanted a lot, and I didn't get her. And me in 2021, as a 20-year-old with my own money, thought, okay, I should get Molly because this is a doll I wanted as a kid. It's an OG. She's great. She's fun. I loved her movie. I loved her books. I loved all of that. I love the 1940s. This is a doll I should have for my collection. Not that I really knew what my collection looked like, but it just felt like I needed to have Molly, and that was it. And I was only getting a doll because they were coming back. So my first doll that I'm 100% sure I bought with my own money was Miss Molly McIntyre off the website, and I was so excited, but I was like, this is one for my collection. It's one I should have. I should get her. And so for some reason in 2021, I bought a doll again. Then in 2021, later in the year, so I bought her probably sometime early in the year, late 2021, we moved states. And so all of my American Girl stuff, which was just chilling in my closet with my clothes, had to go away and go into storage to move. And we moved into a condo, which we're still in. And I was like, okay, there's no space for them really here. They're in storage boxes. We have a ton of stuff in storage. We have a ton of stuff in storage locker. I just like, I'll leave my dolls in there. I don't want to deal with all their hair. I don't want to deal with everything. They're wrapped up really, really nice when we moved. But taking them out, dealing with all that, I was like, I don't want to do that. I'll do that when we're settled. I'll find a display case for them or something somewhere because I want to have them. I'm no longer actively collecting. I'm not interested in getting anything else. I can't still collect American Girl dolls, which is honestly the most harmful thing. I could have told myself that I could do something I loved, but I was so convinced that I couldn't. And I've never cared a ton about what people think, but I always have a little bit. I don't dress like everyone else. It took me a while to be comfortable with what I like to wear and to wear it every day and not care that people thought I was overdressed anywhere, not care about any of that. I'm not really a big fan of jeans, like sneakers, shorts. Like, I'll wear, some of that I'll wear, but I'm not real big on that. I would never wear sweatpants out personally. It's just not my thing. I've always loved older decades, which is part of the reason I think I've always loved American Girl, because American Girl got me into history and it got me into learning about all these decades. I love history. This has been a special thing with my grandmother and I, and a lot of the doll outfits I realized that I have, if I could have my size versions of everything, I would be so happy, because honestly, that's what I want to wear. It took me a long time to be comfortable and understand what I wanted and understand my style and not to care what people think in that. And I dress however I want now, and I'm so happy. But it took even longer to realize things I like. I collect old books that are children's series books like Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew. I collect dolls. That took much longer to embrace and just realize that it was okay, and it made me happy, and honestly, who cares? And some people have thought that's really, really cool in my life. But anyways, I got Molly in 2021. She remained in her box until February of this year, just because it was something I wasn't going to unpack. And I started college. I had already graduated. We moved. I took a couple gap years. I started college in 2021. And I had way too much to do. I didn't have time for everything. So she and my books sadly stayed in storage. We thought we were going to move a bunch of times. We didn't. And so I left for college in January of 2023. And Molly was my last doll. I wasn't even thinking about American Girl. And I, went off to college. She stayed in the box. But I just remember being happy I had her in my collection. Not being really sure what that meant or why. This is a special doll to me because this was my first doll I bought as an adult. It's probably the first doll I bought with my own money that I that I earned in a job and not that I got for like Christmas money or anything like that. Like, I was an adult and I could buy my own doll, and I remember thinking that was the coolest thing ever. So, like I was saying, I moved off to college. Obviously, this is not the end of my AG story, or I would not be here making this video for you, but I moved off to college. I got real busy in that. I really started to nail down my style when really all I needed to do was look at my American Girl dolls. Duh, I want to dress like that. But I didn't, and took a lot of trial and error, and I was really focused on that. And, you know, school, I met my boyfriend the first day of school. We've been together for 3 years now, and so I was really focused on everything but dolls, books, all that. It was still all in storage. I was gone. It's not like I could take it to the dorm with me. I'm sharing a very small dorm with a roommate, and that just wasn't going to happen. But apparently, even though I felt like I wasn't thinking about American Girl, apparently it was in my subconscious somewhere, because there was a doll that I really wanted as a kid, and apparently I really wanted her, Sage. I wanted her real bad. I didn't get her. I think she's got gorgeous eyes, gorgeous hair. Never the biggest fan of her collection, but the doll itself is just absolutely stunning. And she came out in that perfect time for me with AG, where AG was just pretty much doing everything right, except for some of the Be Forever relaunch, rebrand stuff, and the retiring of dolls, that they need to bring all of them back, all the historicals. I would love them back, Marie Grace, Cecile, all of it. But apparently, the fact that I never gotten Sage and wanted Sage was still in my subconscious, because my boyfriend surprised me with Sage as a gift for my birthday in 2023. She's wearing Nikki's boots. Ignore that. That's just what she came with. It was my first secondhand doll, and to say I was shocked was an understatement, because I didn't even remember mentioning I collected American Girl dolls at any point in my life. I didn't remember saying that this was the girl I wanted, and I had never gotten to have her look at you. Like, I didn't know any of that. So he gave me a box, and I think I even remember at the back of my mind, just because I've opened several American Girl boxes to this point. This is my 17th doll. That kind of looks like an American Girl box. Huh, like I know that shape anywhere. The amount of Christmas boxes under the tree and stuff that I would, like, scope out beforehand and guess whether it was big enough to fit an American Girl doll in and wonder if I got one for Christmas or my birthday and be super excited about it. I was pretty much an expert with identifying if a box was the size of an American Girl box inside of it. And I remember thinking that, and I remember opening her up, and she was staring back at me, just an absolutely gorgeous doll, and I was stunned. He tracked one down, even though he knew nothing about American Girl, that's beautiful, great shape, with the wrong boots, but she's got her purse and stuff on Mercari. I was absolutely floored. And he said that you had the biggest smile on your face. You were so happy. I've never seen you that excited over anything. And that's probably true. I was super excited about this doll. I was a little confused that I got her, because that was the most unexpected American Girl gift ever. But I thought it was super cool. Unfortunately, living in the dorm, I knew I didn't have room to display American Girl dolls. I was going to have to put her with my display whenever I ended up moving back home. Or I was going to send her home, put her with my other dolls, eventually I'll get them out and see them. So she stayed in the plastic she was in, and she, along with several other dolls, lived in my grandmother's closet, who lives really close to the college, for 3 years. She came home with me when I graduated college in January, and that was the first time I pulled her out of the plastic and, like, truly appreciated her, because I was just so scared of anything happening to her that I just had left her in there, because I was just going to enjoy her later. So this was a huge doll for me, and I was so excited about it, and I was so happy, and it just felt like something was complete, because I had the doll that I wanted. I now have 2011 to 2017 in order, and that just felt totally right for me. So, this doll, I love her so much. This is my Sage. So, for the next doll, There was only about a year in between when I got Sage and when I got her, but this one was a big deal for me because it allowed me to dip my toe back into collecting. I was like, okay, great, I have Sage. That's the doll that kind of completes my collection. That's the doll I wanted. The doll I didn't have. The doll that I always regretted not having. And, you know, I just got a childhood doll. Whatever, she'll go in my collection. That's awesome. That's great. I was so busy I was not thinking of collecting. Until my friend and I went to the American Girl store in 2024. We went to the mall. She asked me what mall I wanted to go to, and by this time it was 2024, and LA The Grove, because I went to college in California, so that was the nearest American Girl store, had moved from there to Westfield Century City. And so at first I was like, let's go to the Grove, because the back of my mind, the American Girl, the Grove was magical. It was the greatest place on earth. Like, I could spend all day. It was a shoppable museum. It was so cool. You walked in and there was the cafe and the salon and all that. Upstairs, each doll had their own room and their dioramas and Julie's big egg chair. It was the coolest thing. You could see the movie, music. It was a magical experience. So I was like, oh, let's go to the Grove. For nostalgia's sake, I would like to go to the American Girl store because I haven't been in there forever, and like, it'd be fun, bring back nostalgia, memories, all that. And then on our way there, I found out that it's no longer at the Grove, and it's at Westfield Century City. So I suggested we go there instead, and she was really nice, and we went there instead and shopped around a while. She waited in the car after a while. She wasn't feeling well. And I walked into the American Girl store. And it was so cool. Like, it's so fun to look back at my childhood. But, you know, while I'm here, and maybe I'll start this as a tradition for when I go to the store. And it is a tradition in a way I've kept up since then. If I go to the store, I should get a doll. I make my own money now. It'd be a fun little store tradition. Anytime I happen to find myself in an American Girl store, I should come out with a doll. You know, just for the hell of it. Just because I'm an adult who can spend money when I want. And like, I'm not going to tell anyone about it. I'm not really collecting them. I just got to get a doll or two because why not? It was just for a cool thing and just to display them. I didn't need their outfits. I didn't need their furniture or their entire world or anything. Once in a while, if I got a doll, what could it hurt? And it's kind of funny to me now that I was trying so hard to convince myself that I wasn't completely into American Girl still, and that I didn't want it, and trying to justify, oh, I got a doll for a collection that I should have. Oh, I got a doll that I really missed and always thought about. Oh, I should get a doll because I'm in the store, and like, that's a little fun tradition. So, whatever the reason, I was trying to justify it to myself and not admit that I was into that because I was too old, or I should be too old, which is ridiculous because I think we are who we are as kids, and we know that. And some things change, but some things don't. And the world is what tells us otherwise. And from a kid, like, I knew what I wanted to be. I knew what I would dress like. I knew all that. And I kind of let what I perceived as someone else's expectations get in the way, which I highly recommend you don't do because it's never worth it and it won't make you happy. And it's not as fun. So that was my justification at this point when I got Miss Melody Ellison in 2024 at the American Girl store was, alright, I'm gonna get the doll and that's it. I actually did buy an outfit, Claudie's traveling outfit, at the same time, but in my head, I said to myself, no, you can't get that. That's money you shouldn't spend. It's wasted. It's just gonna sit. You're not gonna change doll outfits. You don't want doll outfits. That's not what you collect. You can't admit you collect doll outfits too, and other that, so you have to return it. So I let myself, out of fear, return it. I now have Claudie's travel outfit again, and I'm really happy I do. When I walked into the store, I was so convinced I was gonna get Rebecca. That was like a doll I wanted. She was supposed to be my next doll up since 2017 or 18-ish. Her hair was gorgeous, her collection's stunning, which I unfortunately have very little of, and she was going to be my next doll if I ever got another American Girl doll, I told myself. And then I walked out with Melody. Something about her meat outfit, her hair, I don't know, something just really drew me to her, and I had to have her. So this is my next doll I got as an adult collector, my first as an adult by myself in the American Girl store. What really started the ball rolling towards full-blown doll collecting. Wish she hadn't stayed in the box for a while, but I mean, she's gorgeous. She never really got a hair flip like she's supposed to. That's okay. She's a gorgeous doll. I love the 60s. I love this doll. And this is a doll I'm super happy to own. So I moved the other dolls to have room to show you my next edition. Now, you might think this one is Rebecca because I always said the next one was Rebecca, the next one was Rebecca, the next one was Rebecca. But the next one still isn't Rebecca. I went back to the store with my mom in late 2024, and it was kind of an excuse to go back to the American Girl store. It was Black Friday, and I was okay, Rebecca's the next doll. But then I saw they brought back Addie in her meat dress. And no, Addie's not in her meat dress. This is the only non-period appropriate dress. I don't care. It's Caroline's meat dress, and I love it, and it looks so good on her, in my opinion. So this is Miss Addie Walker. When I saw they brought her back in her original pink meat outfit, I couldn't resist. I was like, I like her Be Forever blue dress. Sometime I want to do a ranking of all the meat outfits, but her pink one's just a little more special. So I walked out with her. My next, I'm not going to get the outfits. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just getting a doll. Which it's actually funny because I did walk out with an outfit I didn't return. The outfit Samantha was wearing in the beginning of the video, I saw it was limited and it was back. And I was like, well, Samantha's my favorite. I love Samantha. I have to have it. Good for the collection. Whatever the collection was at the time. Like, that's just a piece I'm going to want to have. And I strongly regret not getting Kirsten's outfit. I think there were a few other outfits at the time that were limited, brought back for the historicals. The historicals are my favorite thing. And I regret not getting those outfits, but I'm very happy I got Samantha's, and I later got Addie's school outfit as well. But yes, Miss Addie Walker, she's gorgeous in her meat hairstyle. She unfortunately also sat in the box until January. I'm sorry, because she's beautiful. Her stories were my favorites growing up. I love her collection. I'm so sad I don't have more of her Sunday best outfit and her summer plan outfit are some of my favorite outfits, and I want to find them so bad. But I am super happy to have Miss Addie Walker in my collection, and doesn't she just look so good in Caroline's meat dress? I feel like everyone looks good in Caroline's meat dress. It's one of my favorites. It's gorgeous, and this is a doll that I'm really happy to have. So, Miss Addie Walker, my 19th doll. It's crazy to say out loud. So before I introduce my next doll, there are some important things to say between what happened with Addie and this next doll. So I got a couple of dolls in 2025 that I no longer own. I just didn't connect with them. I'll do a video at some point talking about the dolls I no longer have and why I don't have them. One of them I'm still trying to sell, but I did go to the store twice in 2025. Both times I bought a doll that I didn't end up loving. I no longer have them in my collection because I didn't connect. But between that doll and this doll, I finished college, graduated, came home, and I was like, okay, I want stuff to do. I'd already started going through my storage stuff and getting rid of stuff and, trashing stuff I didn't need, selling stuff I didn't need. Through college, I'd really gotten to the point where I had moved so many times that I didn't want to have stuff I didn't need. So for me, that meant getting rid of a lot of things that just weren't me or didn't suit me. A clean slate. So I got rid of so much stuff. And part of that was pulling out all my old books when I had started getting back into reading at my job that I worked at while I was in school. And I was like, whoa, I still love these books. I need to get these books out, and I need to go through all this, and I need to look at this stuff. And so I decided, yeah, I need to go through all this stuff, and I got back here, I cleaned all my books, I cataloged them, I went through them all, I put them on my shelves. They're, collectibles, and I sold a bunch that I didn't need anymore, that were like doubles or not graded versions of them, and I bought several, and then I was like, okay, I've gone through everything I own, I've gone through all my storage, and the only thing I haven't gone through is my American Girls, and I was like, you know what, I want to go through everything I own, I really want that to be something I do. Pulled up all the boxes upstairs, my doll furniture, my doll clothes, accessories, dolls, all of it. Brought it upstairs. I wanted everything in one place in this room. And I pulled out all my dolls. I identified who they all were because honestly, it had been a while since I'd seen some of them, 5 years. I pulled them all out, brushed out their hair, made them look nice. They were a bunch of mismatched weird outfits that I decided made sense whenever the last time I changed them were. And then I opened my suitcase of doll clothes and my bag. I want to know what I have. I want to know if there's stuff I want to keep, how I feel about this. I'm just kind of curious. I want to open this up. So I decided that I was going to open it up and I was going to go through everything because it was all thrown together. And I didn't have any of the boxes. And I was going to label a bag with what each of them were and separate all the outfits and put them into their individual bag labeled with what the outfit is, because I'm an organization freak now, so of course I'm going to do that instead of throwing it all together randomly. So it took me forever to sort through all of my childhood American Girl stuff. I couldn't believe how much I had, and things I thought I had, or I knew I had at one point, I didn't. I don't know what happened to that. Some stuff probably got lost along the way, including some outfits that are difficult to find now, which is really, really sad. But I looked on American Girl Wiki and pulled up all the dolls, historical dolls, and matched everything together, and then the dolls that I might have outfits from, and then I used Google Lens, the whole thing, to figure out where everything came from. Unfortunately, there were some where I just had the shoes, or just the dress, or just the headband, or whatever. I didn't have the full pieces. But I took inventory of what I had, and I put it all in bags, and seeing all the dolls, and seeing all the gorgeous outfits that I loved, that's what made me fall completely back into American Girl. Like I was talking about American Girl, I decided to watch YouTube videos American Girl, I just decided I was fully back into everything American Girl, and I wasn't just back into the dolls. I wanted the outfits, I wanted the sets, I wanted whatever I liked. And I'm really sad that I kind of got into it, really back into it in the last couple months because I missed out on so much. But there's some cool stuff, and we're upcoming on the 40th anniversary. I was so back, so happy, so enjoying them. I don't care what other people think. I like them. I always have. They're more than just dolls to me. They're memories with people who are special to me. They're what got me into history. They're gorgeous. They inspire my fashion sense. Like, they mean so much to me. And that is not something I want to lose. And turns out there's more I still want. And that was a really exciting thing to me. The first doll I bought on the website, after I realized I was totally into American Girl, it was finally Rebecca's time. And I love this doll. I mean, her wig, she's so beautiful. I loved her stories. I regret not having more of her collection that I really do want to have, like her summer outfit and her movie outfit and her original pajamas. She's just got such a phenomenal collection. And I have her meet outfit, and I bought her Hanukkah dress recently, the new Hanukkah outfit, her new nightgown, and the only outfit I had for her other than that was her costume set, which I got as a kid, which this is actually a bit of a difficult outfit to find. I have all the pieces, miraculously. I also wish they had her original meet outfit. I've tried to like the purple. I really don't. I think she looked so much better the moment she was changed out of her purple outfit. But I love her. I will eventually get that red meat outfit and more of her collection. But This is the doll I've wanted for 9 years at least. She was supposed to be my next doll up, and I got many in between her, but she's special, and I really, really love her, and so I was super happy that this was my first website purchase in a very long time. So now that I was fully back into American Girl, and everything American Girl was of interest to me, my boyfriend was someone who I talked his ear off about American Girl, and as a late gift, since we decided to do gifts later for when we saw each other, he surprised me with Miss Julie Albright. So this is my 21st doll that I own, not my 21st doll I've ever had, but this is my 21st doll, and this is a doll I much more appreciate having her. I always thought she was a bit overrated as a kid. I never liked the 70s. I love some of her outfits, but I was just always like, there are other dolls that I enjoy more. And so I didn't get her, but she was one of the dolls I had interest in getting, because ideally, in the future, I love the historical characters so much. I love all of them. It would be so fun to have all of the historical characters eventually sitting here, and how cool that would be, except maybe the 90s twins. Unfortunately, some of those are difficult to find. 2 out of the 3 of my dream dolls are historical characters, Cecile and Nellie, and unfortunately they're everyone else's dream too, and they're expensive, but someday that's a collection I hope to complete. This is my 13th historical character, Julie. Her hair is really shiny and really pretty. She was my doll that was given to me last month, and I was so excited to have her, and when I pulled her out of the box, I got so excited. This Julie is gorgeous. Like, this is a very pretty Julie. I love this. She probably won't stay in her meat outfit, but she's fairly new, and unfortunately, I don't have any Julie outfits. I wish I did. I think I had her butterfly pajamas at some point, but those have been lost. But she's a gorgeous doll. That was a wonderful surprise. She is my 21st addition to my collection. You would think that that's my most recent doll, because I got her a month ago. And it isn't. We went down to the American Girl store back when I was down visiting California, and Josefina was the doll I wanted the most on my website historical characters I don't have list, but she'd sold out on the website. And so I saw her, and I just had to get her, because I didn't know if I was going to be able to. I assume they're going to bring her back for the 40th anniversary, but I don't know. I don't want to guess. The amount of times I thought an outfit was just always going to be around, and it wasn't, has really burned me. And so when I saw they still had her in the store, along with Molly's Camp Gowan, however it's pronounced, outfit, which also isn't on the website, I knew I had to leave with both of those things, and it kind of keeps up my tradition of I'm in the store, I'm never in the store, which that's not true. I've been to the store 5 times in the last 3 years. I'm not never in the store, but that's what I tell myself. So I need a doll. And so I walked out with Miss Josefina Montoya, who I think is a gorgeous doll. Her hair is super shiny, still in her meat hairstyle. I do like keeping dolls in their meat hairstyle, but I also would like to see her hair down, so we'll see if she stays in it. She's in her original outfit, which is much better than the Be Forever one, in my opinion. And I just love the dark colors of her skirt and all of her accessories. Her necklace is really beautiful. And she's a stunning doll. One of the originals. Had to have her. I'm so happy. She's the most recent addition to my collection. She's just gorgeous. I do have one of her outfits. You'll probably see her in that one sometime soon. But this is my most recent doll. I really value each and every doll in my collection. All of them are special. They all hold wonderful memories for me. They're connected to wonderful people. They're connected to things I love, and just me. I can tell a story of a lot of my life through American Girl. And so no matter how many I have, they're each going to be special. I have a limited number of dolls I would ever want to have. You may have noticed I don't really have any Truly Me or Disney. I have historicals, Girl of the Year, Contemporary, and Tenny's probably going to be my only contemporary because they never seem to keep those lines going. But every doll is special. This doll is special. She'll forever remind me of the trip with my boyfriend and my mom and my friends. And that is my American Girl collection. 22 dolls. 22 dolls I absolutely love. Some show their love a little more than others, since I've been now collecting for 21 years, off and on, but I'm so happy to be fully back into American Girl collecting. I look forward to seeing where my collection takes me in the future, and I look forward to talking everything AG with all of you, and I'm really excited for this channel, so subscribe, stay tuned for more videos. Feel free to comment, tell me any videos you'd like me to make, your favorite doll in my collection, your first doll, your dream doll, any of that. I would love to hear it. Bye!